So you also want to allow the teaching of Christianity instead of evolution or versus evolutions in
No,
schools? Versus.
versus.
Okay. Would you allow other theories as well?
Yes.
So any theory could be taught in the school?
I was thinking about it the other day,
Yeah.
and I thought a class, in fact, you could give it like the acronym CREATE. Christianity, religion, evolution, atheism, the end. And what that means is how all of these different beliefs, how they correspond to the end of your life. And I think that would be important for children to make decisions. Which one do they want to follow? And, to me, there is life, eternal life in heaven. And is that the choice you want to make, or do you want to follow one of these other
But how does believing in evolution negate the fact that you could believe in heaven?
Negate the fact? I don't think it negates the fact. But, if you're a Christian, you believe in Jesus, you believe Jesus is the Son of God, and you try to live your life to please God instead of yourself. And that is, the whole crux of Christianity. That's what gets you to heaven, and according to the Bible. And that's what I believe. And I think kids especially should be given this choice. How do they want to live their lives? Do they want to live them so that they get to heaven?
Okay. You're the founder of the Association for Honest Attorneys. Now, you're not an attorney, correct?
No.
Isn't it odd that the Association for Honest Attorneys has only 3 board members, one of which is you, and one of which is God? God is a board member.
Let me go back and explain. When we formed in 2003, there were 4 of us. Mm-hmm. There were 3 gentlemen. One's a former lawyer of 27 years.
Yeah.
The other one was a city inspector in the town where I live, and we had known each other for a long time. And the other one was my former boss out at Boeing. And so as we have gone along the way, we had some concerns with one of them, so he dropped out. Then there were 3 of us. There was not God. Then, like I said, the city inspector, he was with us for 4 years until the chemical and biological warfare started happening. Then he was persuaded to leave our organization by
But God is on it now, though.
Yeah. So we decided to put God on there because He's always protected us.
So God is a board member of your association?
Yes, he is.
And you personally have a very litigious history yourself, don't you? I mean, tell us about some of the lawsuits you've filed.
They're all on our website. If you go to our website, you can Google on Association for Honest Attorneys. Click on supporting documents. There are 7 lawsuits there. They are not all mine. Case number 4 is about a man whose divorce went on for 6 years. He was near suicide when he came.
No, but let's talk about the ones that are yours. I mean, you alleged in one lawsuit that the President George W. Bush conspired to kill you and your husband, right?
He was involved. That is my opinion, and I have to say, my opinions are based on research over the last 7 years by our organization.
Yeah. But so your opinion is that the President George W. Bush was involved in a conspiracy to kill you and your husband.
President George W. Bush authorized the use of national security letters.
Yeah.
I believe this is under the Patriot Act. And when I wrote to him, because they had brought false charges against my 14-year-old son, instead of trying to help me or respond, they put me on a terrorist watch list. And, this involves not just, hacking in your computer, monitoring your phone calls, following you, getting in your bank account, keeping you from getting a job, going after your kids. It's to the point that if you go into a hospital, they try to use chemical and biological warfare against you. And this is what happened to me in December of 2006. Went in for corrective surgery in 2007. They used something called a steroid cocktail mix in my IV. I feel like when I woke up from surgery, room spinning around, something told me this isn't right. I unplugged my IV and let it drip into a bedpan all night, or I would have died.
Okay, but Joe, I think aren't we getting a little bit into the weeds here? I mean, that means George W. Bush conspired to murder you and your husband?
Well, what they did was they brought such health problems onto me that my husband had a heart attack and died. He was, he was 50 years old. He was a thin man. He was not overweight. He had no trouble, had never had any heart trouble of any kind, and until 30 minutes before he died. And this, like I said, the stress over a 4 to 5 month period right before he died is what caused it.
Well,
I was having such bad health problems.
I am very sorry to hear that. And, just on the whole, though, I do have to say, in all honesty, that in reviewing the lawsuits, it seems like, although you're in this association of honest attorneys, that you've been involved in a number of strange lawsuits, to say the least. Wouldn't you say?
Strange? Well, there are other people who have experienced them just as well. And so if you look on chapter or case number 7, that is a man whose wife was actually killed by a steroid cocktail mix. And what did he do? He had ongoing litigation with a former state representative. It's been going on for 7 years. They couldn't get to him, so they did it to his wife, and she died.
I wish we had more time. We've been speaking with Joan Heffington, running for governor in the state of Kansas. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Take care.
You've been listening to Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.